Please note that the following views and the opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily the views nor the opinions of the Master Force Group, YouTube.com, Free America Radio Network, our sponsors, our partners, and MFG is a private society. Nothing here is ever to be construed as hate, medical, nor legal advice. And listen to the Forbidden History prime time 7 days a week right here on therealpublicradio.net, because hidden beneath the sands of time lies the greatest of all mysteries. It's the Forbidden History. Unearth for yourself the secret truths that lie hidden just beneath the surface below our feet. What is it that the powers that be do not want you or I to know? Come and journey with us as we explore and dare to know, because it's all right here, coming your way 7 days a week on therealpublicradio.net, Free America Radio Network. It's what they didn't want you to know that we tell right here. Stand by for the broadcast. Still time to call your friends.
Okay, welcome to Ask Desert Owl on the Forbidden History series. I'm NinjaCat, and I just want to say g'day to Lynn and Anna. Thank you for joining. Creating light for you, Lynn, always, but especially now. And I'd like to welcome any new listeners to the program. Sit back, relax, and enjoy hearing some things that you haven't heard before. Just before we get started, I do want to bring up the emoji thing. I know everybody's behaving really well, but for anyone that doesn't know, too many emojis these days can cause the program and the chat to take longer to upload afterwards. So please limit your emoji use. I'm also guilty of that.
No more than 3, I think,
yeah,
is the average, right?
yeah, that seems to be the trick.
At one time.
Yeah, 3 in a comment. And capital letters. I don't know how much the capital letters affect it, but yeah, just on the side of caution.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, for the production, we do capital letters, but for everyone else, use upper and lower, unless it's for desert, then just put it desert in all capital letters, and that'll help me to see it. Then, put your comment or question in upper and lower. That helps us out. Okay. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you for the flowers there, Anna.
Thank you. And thank you, Lingineer, for putting all the details in the chat. That was the next thing. I was moving on to let you guys know that this is a live call-in program. We encourage questions, comments. Desert loves to talk and nobody ever calls. So we welcome live callers. Any first-time caller gets a free copy of the Handbook of Christianity as a gift from Desert. It's one of his transliterations, part of his collection, which is all available on Amazon. I will go into more detail later on in the program, but links are in the description below. So if you'd like to call in, you can call 608-566-7295. That's 608-566-7295, and the number is in the chat. Or you can Skype NinjaCat, all one word. It's the white circle with the purple NinjaCat with the sword to make it easier to find if there's several NinjaCats there. But it's just NinjaCat, one word. Okay, in essence, Desert discusses the history of the world and how the unseen hand has been running it from the very beginning of recorded history, who they are and how they have founded all of the first great civilizations that are found all around the world, about who the giants really were, and the ancient Aryan caste and slave systems, the priesthoods, the anti-gravity V-manners, the Earth-based misnomered UFOs, which are all man-made, the control of all forms of communications, commerce, religion, mass media, pseudo-politics, etc. It is the grand deception that is used to control all of mankind, and all instituted through the 4 main religions of the world in particular, used as their grand cover. Their cybercode has been revealed to him because he has become adept within the study of the ancient alphabets, communications, symbolism, religion, custom, law, cosmology, and mythology, not to mention the fallacy of today's political science and pseudoscience in particular. He can also define the true nature of their warfare, their shell game of bringing one civilization up for their temporary use and then taking it down for the next 500-year generational cycle, as symbolized by the classical burning up of the phoenix. Desert discusses the ultimate in mind control, an ancient art, and the financial control, the secret societies and their blood occult rituals, and how they wage all wars throughout all time, through the nations that they have created, which are all imaginations, plantations, and mere corporations. They have taken blood oaths to surrender their self-will and mind to their blind goddess, who has demanded our blood from the very beginning of time. They communicate to their minions through the movies, TV, print media, and religion, while he can see, read, and interpret most all of it, based on the ancient communication and symbol. It all says that they are using us for our ingenuity, for our collective constructive labour, for experimentation, and in the end they intend to kill us all. They have given us full notice of what they are doing and what they fully intend to do, while all of the general population, the sheeple, they merely go there to be entertained. The New World Order is the Old World Order from the very beginning of recorded history. There is a major cosmic natural disaster that is about to happen on Earth, and they know it because they have engineered all of it, while they are cleverly leaving us in the dark. Hence the reason that they have built hundreds of underground bases all around the world, while they are leaving all of the people to remain unprepared, uninformed, and above ground, so that when it all comes, the mere 5% who will survive above ground will die from the weaknesses and disease that has been generated from all of the poisons that they have been feeding us, from the chemical aerosol spraying of our sky, to fluoride in the water, to tainted vaccines, to fake food, etc., etc. They have enslaved us all at birth by the clever means of deception, because we most all are their cattle, chattel, property, and because they merely wanted to harness our labour, what they always needed, which is what backs most of the world's currency through the birth certificate, a Wall Street security. But they are all through with us now, as it is written in stone, as it can be seen written in the Georgia Guidestones. It says, we are a virus upon the earth. To know the truth is to be empowered and to be prepared. We may not be able to stop what has been done and what is about to happen, but the innocent and decent people on planet Earth deserve to know. And now, here's Dezert-Owl.
And good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are around the world, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the broadcast and the Forbidden History series. Something I've been doing since 1997. I produced the Forbidden History catalog to try to save my organization, United Truckers, Defending the Constitution. So I was the first one on the internet with Forbidden History. So it's been a lot. That was 1997. So that was 24 years ago, about when I coined the term. And by the time I got 500 copies of the catalog printed and shipped to me, it was all over for United Truckers. So the double troubles, they move in, they shut you down, And I had my hands on the steering wheel of what essentially was one of the most important organizations in America, being 5 million truck drivers, give or take. And they all, we had an educational program and everything, with audio tapes and all of that stuff, because they got time to listen in their truck. And no, they surrounded me basically, sort of like the way it is now here, but different because they moved in. Forgive me, I'm a little choked up today, but they play all the dirty tricks. These are the enemies of mankind, and so they work overtime to harm other people, to destroy freedom. Because they're the taskmasters that got special perks and privileges for being scum of the earth, and so. But they get the privilege also of going back to dirt. They in their little haunt, they say, "Oh, where do you want to go, my son?" And he says, "Oh, Bubba, tell me some more. I want to go to the light." And then what he gives them is a few more lies and deceitful deceptions. And then in the end, they find out that they're nothing but dirt, and they're going back to dirt. And that's all they could ever expect. They pretended the light, but they get what they are: the mother sons of darkness, which is what Masonic means, mother sons of darkness. Jesuits are twice as dark, for sure, and the Jews are, in the middle, between the Jesuits and with the Freemasons. That they're at the head of the Freemasons with the Kabbalism, Jewish Kabbalism. So, and Kevin, good to have you on the broadcast. and was hoping you're okay. I hit you up about 10 minutes before the program, and so good to have you. So we're going to try to cover some ground here today. We're going to finish to read. I'm telling you, because I don't have that much to get out. I put off other things. I just want to take care of a business first, and the first one is how to fix the chat. I've noticed that when you come in, or when I'm doing a review, when I'm re-listening, and all of a sudden I hear Desert talking about these words that are supposed to be popping up on the chat, but they're not popping up. Some of them are being taken out by their algorithm, but excuse me, the thing to do is a refresh. What I've learned is if you refreshed and back it up a little bit, you just have to kind of play with it a little bit, and then the other dialogue that was going on with the other words is there. Okay, so not all the words are gone. It's just it kind of like gets stale, even though you're listening to it. It just stalls out and gets stale. So that could be unique to our chat, because every little problem and trick has been played on us by the YouTube. So don't expect much from them. We're certainly looking at other venues. If we had $1,000, we'd throw it right to Vimeo. It's $900 for a year, and so we can't go to Vimeo. They got a real professional one there that would be really perfect. They've been around a long time, but they usually was just uploading videos. Now they've got live as well, state of the art. So we're going to work our way there if we can. If we can get people buying the books, we've got to. We only sell about two books, 3 books, 4 books a month. It fluctuates between 2, 3, and 4 basically, and so that's not going to do it. 2 books can't even buy a Mexican dinner. So we've got to get the word out and help people with the this information, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about the information. That we're the time is so short, and I think you enjoy hearing some things you've not heard before, which is relevant relevant to who we are, where we are, why we are, and when we are. So if you make a point, to share what we're doing, it's the passing around of love. Okay, it's love to share, and so please consider sharing with anyone. I often carry around cards, like a 3x5 card with the sites written down on them. I don't even have professional cards printed. I should, but I just don't know how to produce the cards on my computer right now. I need some help with that. And but it's good to have handout cards. And of course, with the shutdown, we don't have the ability now to integrate with many other people. So they've done everything now to shut us down. We're in the final throes of civilization. Okay, if anybody thinks anything's going back to the way it was, it's not happening. And it's time to get our house in order, ladies and gentlemen. It is. It's time to get our house in order. I mentioned on the last broadcast of a video that everybody could get called "Tortured for Christ," and this is a true story about a man who was persecuted by the Jews who created the communist revolution in Romania. The Jews are the communist takeover front for the Vatican. It's all a layer of onion, it's all layer. But the Jews are the ones who do all the dirty work and create the revolutions, taking over the different nations. Obviously they can if they print all the money, right? Go figure. If they can print all the money that never existed, and it's all purely an illusion, digits on a piece of paper, well, then certainly they can buy anybody they want. And that's what they do. They find all the scumbags on the planet, and they hire them and make them part of their little buddy clique. That's how they do it. But Ninja found it actually on YouTube, so you don't have to buy it, or if you don't, if you can't afford it, you can get it right on YouTube. It's Tortured for Christ. Okay, Tortured for Christ. A man really believes not what he recites in his creed, but only the things he is willing to die for. And that's I don't know if that's the guy that's in the movie, but this guy, after he got out, after he did, went through several years of torture, he got out, and he then created this magazine called The Voice of the Martyrs. You can get a free subscription, The Voice of the Martyrs, and they're out of Oklahoma. Okay, the 800 number again for this Let me find the 800 number. I don't see it on the back here. Hang on a minute. Um, where's your 800 number? You think they'd want to put it around a little bit better, huh? Okay, to subscribe to Voice of Martyrs magazine, and for the ways to help the persecuted, call 800 747 0085. That's 800 747 0085. Okay, so it's profound when you hear what other people are going through in their nation, ladies and gentlemen. Unreal. Like in India, like there's an example, one of the magazines in there, in India, somebody prayed for somebody that was sick, and the individual died, right? So some Christians prayed for that individual, and then the individual died. So what did they do? They threw the Christians in prison. They threw them in prison for committing murder, something like that. It's just nothing makes sense, of course, in our world, right? Ninja, tell them how they can find it on YouTube. If you can put the link in there and just talk real quick. I got to turn my heater on. It's getting cold. We're 16 degrees today over here, and that's Fahrenheit. Be right back.
Okay, so the way I have this set up, it's not easy for me to put a link in the chat because I'm in there as Cosmic, and I don't want to open up any more on the computer because we are running perfectly at the moment, so I don't want to open up any more pages. But I just put in the chat, the movie link is in the comments under the last program. And I will add it to the comments after we've finished this program as well. I'll put it in the comments. I just don't want to do that now, and I can't cut and paste. I can't copy and paste links with my phone. I don't know how, and I don't want to mess anything up on the computer because technically we're perfect now. But yeah, just go to the last program. It's in the comments.
Thank you, Ninja. All right. So I want to I want to get this one little item out of the way. Because I just finished watching Max Egan's latest video. He always has spot on information, and he's always got something really creative. You got to see the beginning video this guy produced on a type of a parody, but it really puts things in perspective. But at the end, he had this picture, and so Ninja, go ahead and put up the three witches. Let's look at it and talk about it real quick to show, as they say about pudding, the proof of the pudding is when you eat it. You know whether it's good or not. It looks good, may not taste too good, and I'm a little got a frog in my throat today, so I don't know how long I'm going to be out to last, but we'll get our best shot. So okay, so we're and so I'm waiting for it to come up. I guess you already got it uploaded, right, Ninja?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So the only one that's not in there, there's actually 4 witches, and the other one that should be in here, which is the half sister of Angela Merkel, is Hillary Clinton. And I find it really funny because when you look at the lady from Lithuania when she was little, look at those eyes. I mean, come on, doesn't she look a little bit possessed? To use a figure of speech. And then those eyes, they go into Theresa May as an adult. You see, look at her eyes. She looks like the witch of the West. And look at their cute little Angela Merkel, the little angel, daughter of Adolf Hitler, just playing the same routine for the banking elite, But half sister of Angela Merkel is Hillary Clinton. So obviously Hitler had another wife as well, or just had the maid, got with the maid and made more children. So anyway, does that not spell it out, ladies and gentlemen? Look at that. Come on, they're girlfriends, growing up, and now they just all happen to be leaders of nations, right? Come on, what are the odds that would happen? Can you say Illuminati? Of course, Illuminati, ladies and gentlemen, the breeding ground. Just like Bill Clinton was a bastard child as well, the same situation, and it's on and on and on. There's no end to the game that they played on us. It's all a stage, all a front, nothing real. They're the sellouts. They're the handlers. Of course, there really is no sellout, and there really is no conspiracy, because what it is, it's a racket of slave holders, the slave masters working for the unseen hand, controlling the slaves. So that's the way it's always been. So there is no real conspiracy. Nothing we ever thought we had ever really was ours. You know, you look at, like I've showed, and I'll have to do it again, how even in the Declaration of Independence here in the U.S., their codes are right in there, flashing. Saying that it's their baby, just like we talked about we now know that the founding day of Jewish communism is May 1st, 1776. And that's when the Illuminati officially founded America. And then we get the 4th of July, you know, 2 months later. Well, guess what? First in time is superior. First in time is the winner. Okay. So everything's been an illusion and a deception. You can take that nonsense off of there now, Ninja. I can't stand looking at that. These deceivers, these pretenders, these wicked that they better read my quote, because they're having a party now. But when it comes down to breathing their last breath, they will have nowhere to go, because they cannot go back to the light that gave them the benefit of consciousness. And they could have known, and they could have retired and said, no, I'm not participating in it. Thank you very much. I think I'll go and learn what life is really all about. But instead, they're happy little witches. Yes. So don't want to see that one again. Okay. You can dump it, Ninja. Well, you may want to put it in the back file, just in case we have to do a review again. But it's the Grand Illusion. And it's like I just got some text in today, a friend, and they're talking about, oh, the election was a fraud. The election, now we got proof. And well, how about this? How about the entire charade is a fraud? How about none of it is real? How about the bank took over in 33? They declared all of us the enemy, and all that they're doing with Washington is creating a theater. War, they call war theater. Well, that's a theater. And they're waging war on mankind in their theater, because none of it's real. And people are worried about who was elected. No, this guy should have been elected. It's not yours. I'm still amazed, even when I've told my friends. I've told them multiple times, and still they can't get it. Can't get it. Let me take a couple deep breaths now. I'm sorry. Okay, everything's all right, Desert. All right. Yeah, it's just my heart goes out to them, My heart goes out to people that want to follow illusions, and they instead, when they should be, getting on their knees and getting to know the one who made them, getting to know the one who made them. How about that? Because that's the only thing that's real. He is spirit. The great Father is spirit. And so we have to learn to see him through the things that he has made in this cosmos that are speaking. His voice is shouting, but we can't read. That's the problem. We don't know how to read, ladies and gentlemen. And so this is one of the prime elements of what we do here, is we show people how to read the symbol, and then the symbols combined. Reading the code of the letters, as I share with you here, is called lexicography. It's the recognition of symbol as word, and so it's no different than, let's say, reading hieroglyphics. It's another way of reading. You see, I'll just give a short example here in the chat. So remember, when I start typing, just hold back, if you would, please, on comments. And I don't have many words here to do on the side, but I'm going to do them right now to knock them out, to help out. And also, I just want to say as well, we do a certain type of an introduction on our program, and so everybody knows they got a little window to call a friend, or to go, make a drink, whatever they need to do, or use the restroom, because I have Ninja reread my opening statement and put up my quote. In these type of things, we have a way that we open, and it's because you have to realize that new people do come in. New people come in all the time, and they need to hear the information, the primer information. And so So we start at the top, but we you know that you've got a little time before we do the main broadcast. Okay, okay, so Kev is saying George Washington said a quote about taking him outside and torturing and having him and hanging him. If anyone would say he ever wanted freedom from the UK, I just can't remember the quote. Okay, yeah, well, it's my contention that actually, you know, King George Washington is actually King George III. If you look at the pictures of King George III, he looks spitting image of George Washington. And what do they say happened to King George III? Well, he lost his hearing and he went deaf and he went crazy, so they locked him away and nobody ever saw him again. Well, okay, that makes sense. They locked him away, nobody ever saw him again. Well, maybe he popped up in Washington, D.C. You know, so put two and two together, ladies and gentlemen, when everybody that gets elected is in the royal lineage, whoever the two opposing contenders, whichever one is more closely related directly to the royal line is always the one that gets selected. There is no election, of course. And but people still follow it. You know, the mind control is great. We got that one graphic up today about how television, you know, you can't watch television, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot. I watch movies to study the theme. That's all I do. I don't watch movies for entertainment. I don't watch blood and gore and all this, sensational stuff. I watch only to review. And is it not interesting? Talk about symbolism that the last movie of 2019, and I wanted to go see it, and then at the point when I was actually able to go to see it, that was the day they stopped showing it. It was just about a week before the new year 2020. And the movie that was the most important to take note of at the end of 2019 was The Joker. They were now playing their wild card, and everyone was to put on the mask, because that's what they did in the movie with the Joker. Everybody put on the mask, you see? And so you can read the symbolism and know that movie was timed for that moment, just as they went into the plan demonic, you know what I mean? Okay, where they give an mRNA in your arm, and that's a gene altering psychobabble psyops to turn you into a cyborg and to own you lock, stock, and barrel. Because once they put that in you, they own you for copyright reasons. And that's twice, 10 times more to slave than we already are. You know, it's like I had a young friend a friend of my buddy, his son, was going to join the army, and I kept saying, look, man, you don't want to join the army. You to be a mercenary. You want to be a mercenary to go kill other people, and then they're going to chew you up and spit you out. And fortunately, he went into truck driving. But when you sign the contract to get in the military, you're twice a slave. You're already a slave. Then you're going to do that, and then you got to salute and say, yes, sir, no, sir, or what, sir? Wow, how jump how high, sir? Yes, sir. You really want some of that? The reason they have to break people in the military, you don't have to break people. You think that intelligent, decent people need to be broken in order to defend their land, to defend their family? They got to be broken first? No, you break people when you want to brainwash them. That's what that is all about, you see. You don't have to break people that are already raised decently in families and love their families and love their neighbors and know what's right and wrong. They'll die for that, but instead they're going to die for a phony cause. It's all phony. There's nothing legitimate. It's the bankers' war. It's the Jews' war who put on the act of being the poor victim while they're the one paying for all the wars and putting you and your family on the front line. Wasn't I doing words? What happened? I had a word I was going to do. I totally got lost there. Let me get back to planet Earth here. Okay. So I was going to put a word up. What was that word? Do you know, Ninja? Do you remember what I was supposed to be putting in there?
No, I
Or did
don't
I
think
do
you
it?
got that far.
All right. All right. I got a couple written down here, but I know there was one. Oh, okay. I remember now. I was going to show a little bit of the, the lexicography, the original thought in a word. Okay. So the real simple, the smaller letters are really easy, because remember, a letter is a word by itself. So let me show you a couple easy ones, and then it'll help you to appreciate what I do with these bigger words, because it's a science. I don't pull it out of thin air. It's a science, and it's knowing the prime root forms, okay? And okay, thank you, Ninja. Okay, he, okay, words are coming now, okay? So hang on the chat. He is, okay, the word H is the, and the E is symbol for what is obvious coming up next, the I, okay? Me, M-E, M is mother, and E is the same again, so it's the mother's eye, okay? Um, and that's how it works, okay? That's just two examples of two simple words that, in other words, what I found amazing when I stumbled onto the original thought, I didn't stumble as much as Yahshuah put it in front of me and I tripped over it and I couldn't deny what I was looking at, is that when they engineered our diction to corrupt it, they abbreviated it. Remember, we talked about abbreviation? Well, you can see right there the abbreviation. They took the word the and made it an H, which is original. Originally, it's the H. The breath, it goes like this. He. So that's where it's Hebrew. You see, the H is the, and it's literally Hebrew is a code as well. I'll just put that one in there since I'm doing it. Hebrew. So now you can see it in a bigger word. It is the He of rays. It's a corruption. The word is totally corrupt, which means then literally means the star. Yeah, that's a real cyber code because they didn't want us to get that picture. There's no W. Okay, that's number one. The B is a V. You see all these things. The E is A. So EB is AV. There's the switch outs, that go on, and so it's that took a long time to see that. I'm talking about just within the last 5 years, let's say, probably, after 50 years of study. So it took a long time to see it clearly. Just like I got a couple of days ago, right? The original word for Mary, which they take back to Miriam, but it's actually Metzorem. And I was going to talk about that too a little bit, but now I want to, because we got Anna on here, and I remembered, okay, L. We're going to talk about L. Oh, and I got my book here. I was going to go back into for Anna real quick as well, but let me do the words. I'll tell you what. I'll do L last. That way it flows right into the follow up with Anna. But I want to show you. Okay. Here's another example. Okay, so this word, I was listening to a documentary yesterday, and they were talking about, the Aboriginals. I think it was down in Australia. Original. Okay, and then, but remember it's a star. It's Avoriginal. Of original. And when I saw that, because I was seeing it for the first time. When I heard it and then I did it in my head, I said, "Oh, wait a minute," because I was thinking, no, they should have called them the originals, not aboriginals. But remembering the code that the AV then is a star. Don't type in there. I'm typing, please. It's Staroriginal. Star original. You see, there it is. But but what it means. What does that mean? Now the next one comes. Here it comes. Start original. So it's telling you that everything starts with the star. And so when they are being called the aboriginal, of original, star original, it means that they are the first original. You see, but look at the word start. What do you see, Ninja, in the word start?
I'm looking.
Well,
Apart from
you,
star.
oh, there it is. Okay, thank you. The T is silent, right? Remember the law of the T? You
Oh.
can make it silent, and there's the star.
So
So when you're at the
star is
starting
start.
line,
Wow.
start at the starting line, okay, you are, when you're at the starting line, you are at the star because everything comes out of a star. You see how it backs me up? Everything I've been saying, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I've been telling you everything starts with the star. Everything came out of the star, and even in the words that we use today that have been corrupted, it's telling you what I'm saying. Okay, so this is the remnant, right? Well, Tzar is star, right? There's the czar is more correct. That's the original word. The original is czar. The TZ, the power words, the T. Okay, so the T is royal. That's called royalty, right? The Z is power, and the AR also is power. Okay, so that's how we read it. Okay, so it's a double power. It's the power of light, and it's the power of creation. The R, army, armor, armament, arbitrary, arm, argument. So that's the lower power. There's the higher power with the Z, the lightning strike, and then there's the power. So there's two powers, right? In that sense of, in other words, we have power, so we're free. We've been given free choice. So we're a separate power from the one until we want to be joined to him, and then we become one with his power because we realize we really don't have any power. It's an illusion. It's a phony power. Okay? Yeah. So, and thank you for that tidbit there, Anna. And so, okay, so there's your Aboriginal. See, um, and I knew from studying the law that ab, like we say ab initio, and it means from the beginning. Well, ab, but then ultimately when I got the code, of and the game that was played, and I saw it clear, I knew ab was AV. You see, and so they don't want us to have these original root forms because we can then see and read for ourselves and not be locked into their mind control program and not really know what these words mean, and then therefore have to be slaves because we can't be set free. You would know the truth, and the truth would set you free. Okay, so I'll give you a little anagram now, because the words. Okay, here it is. Stop. And certain word forms are always, when you reverse words like reading the anagram, you still have to have certain, like the ST, even when you reverse the word, will always be ST. It's not going to be TS. So there's combined parent root forms that always stay the same even when you reverse the word. So POST. Okay, boom. So there's the anagram. Stop is post. And so the first post office was the post. That was out there in the middle on the Silk Road, somewhere on a lonely road somewhere, and there was a post out there, and somebody come along on horseback or walking, and he'd grab the bag hanging on the post, and he put his bag on the post, and he'd take what he's going to now deliver to his community while they got something going to another community, and maybe the caravan is going to pick it up, or whoever, however it worked out. But the post office originally was the post out there in the middle of nowhere. And so everything's centered around the post. And if you look at the map, from one city to another, they measure the distance from one city to another right from each post office, So that's an example of, reading the anagram. And then the L, now getting into Anna's follow-up here. The L, I don't need to do, well, okay, I'll show you what it would be, right? In the correct original, what they don't want us to have, reason they changed it, T-Z-O-O-L, is Zool, okay? So like let me give you an example. E-L-D-E-R, elder, would really be T-Z-O-O, not that one, T-O-O-L-T-O-R. Elder would be Zultar. Zultar. You see, I should have put it underneath. I blew it. But so you notice with these words that they're bigger because they abbreviated them. We get them in the smaller package. But yet I want all the parts to my words, my Eshavors, because it tells a story. And as we talked about zoo means everything. Well, elders, right? If you're an elder, you basically are supposed to know most everything, right? At least about life and life on earth, and maybe about the Father above, right? So you're an elder. You're a Zultor, meaning that you have the power of knowledge because you're old. You see, but what does der mean? Like a spider, S-P-I-D-E-R, is der spy, right? Der spy, which means the spy. Okay. And so it's same with elder, it's the L. Oh, okay. So the L then implies that they may be illuminated. They may be illuminated. So that's where it comes from, out of Babylon. But you can tell the EL does not compare to Zul, because you got the royal T, you got the power of strike of a lightning, and you got the two O's and the L for the owl. So it's the power of vision, and so that's in a hole, right? Make furniture, the doll, give me the doll, and that's a round door. And so, okay, so real quick, I want to go back into the I am Yahweh before I get into reading. That's where we're going next, if the buffering symbol goes away. And so don't forget, give us an audio check as soon as you know anything. Not if it's just a little slight distortion, then that's okay. But if it is really getting bad or you're getting dropped, then let us know, okay? And want to welcome our new listeners, if we have any out there. I see we got people that come and go during the program, and people are saying, okay, where'd this guy come from? And what's he talking about? And then they stay about a minute, and then they're gone because they've never heard this presentation before. And if they've been programmed the wrong way, then their brain might be short-circuiting and say, I got to go watch a commercial. I got to go find me a commercial, beer commercial or something, and then everything will be okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that, Lynn and Ninja. Okay. So here we go. The question is, and I was just going into this when we got dropped on the last program, so let's do a replay. Okay. Now, why did the Vatican outlaw the use of the term Yahweh, right? And we'll use the corrupt form Yahweh, and which is the four letters YHVH. Okay, I'll type it in there. I'll violate the Vatican law and I'll do it. YHWH, which is correctly YHV, and which is incorrectly YAHWEH, which is then correctly YAHLLVOLLHAY. Yavel Hey. Okay. So I give you the corrupted form of the sacred name, and then the final form, original form of the sacred name. Notice how the words are always bigger, and look at it. You can hear it in German not German, that's Khazar. Deutsch. You hear it in the Deutsch today. Jawohl. Jawohl. It's the affirmative. You see? And so it's been preserved all the way down the line. The sacred name, it makes sense, doesn't it, that it would become the affirmative. Jawohl, by the Father of light, even though it may not have been, to use their terminology, kosher, to make that type of a statement as an affirmative. But they probably said, that may be right from the beginning. As the affirmative, it could be. We were never there, so it's hard to make a claim about that. But it is not interesting that that's when I discovered the sacred name in the most primitive original form, and then I said, wait a minute, that's in the Deutsch. That's Jawohl. That's the affirmative. So you see how when the discovery is made, all of a sudden you find a connection in modern time, and that's how it's happened with a lot of words, like the old sage, he put on the turban, right? He didn't want to get sand in his hair, and they didn't have shampoo, I guess, or they just wrapped their head in the turban. Well, today we see it in the word turbine in the jet, right? The turbine engine. And so or the magi, the mages, depending upon how you want to pronounce it, the sages or the magi. Well, the prime root is the word mage, and it means the eye that is centered, the eye that is centered. Well, and when we were in the 1970s, everybody wanted to have a souped up automobile, and they put chrome mags on their cars. And right at the center of the spokes of the mag, at the center is called the mag. See, so it's at the center of everything. And so it shows you how these original forms came right on down the pike. And that's when that's how I learned that Shah, as we see in Aisha, okay, the Shah, well, I knew about the Shah of Iran from the Persian. And so there it is. I knew that Shah meant royal. And so they slip on down through time, and they just hope nobody makes all the connections. They didn't know Desert was going to come along, and grab it all up and scoop it all up and put it all together and write dictionaries, about all this. So magazine, right? It's the Mages Zion. That would be Mages Zion, Tion. Okay, the Mages Zion. You see, they're claiming to be the sages, the ones who, that own the magazines, Time Magazine, Life Magazine. They're claiming to be the magi, the wise ones at the center, and a lot of them are skull and bones, So yeah, so they're claiming to be the mages of the Zion, but it's the world domination Zion, not the one up there, the one down here where they can't go anywhere, but have a party for a short time, and then their chips are all cashed in. And they deceive themselves, They deceive themselves. That's right. So, okay, so why did the Vatican outlaw the use of the term Yahweh or Yahweh? And it was an imperial decree. I saw it. So literally they said nobody's allowed to use this in one of their, councils or whatever they call them, and where they pass the bull around. Yeah, they're full of bull. So they passed the bull around. And so so one more time, we're just going to get back into the book I Am Yahweh out of Germany, and just ask the question, because I have a couple other pages I tagged now, because it's such a deep book. I couldn't find the real form that I wanted to read to help within one paragraph just to spell it out correctly, but I'm trying it again. So how does the invisible introduce himself to his material lower creation? Ladies and gentlemen, how does he do it? And so I have this paragraph highlighted here. Let me turn on a little light. Get a little more light. All right, that's better. So since Esharayulvas, that's Israel's, and that's not the people today. They're pseudo-Israel. Israel no longer exists, and the people that claim to be Israel are not Israel, and they know it, and they joke about it in their little private meetings they have. I'm trying to get comfortable here. Okay, so since Israel's faith recognizes no other comparable deity that might be considered his partner in the divine world, let me read that again. Since Israel's faith recognizes no other comparable deity that might be considered his partner in the divine world, Yahweh's self-introduction thus raises this element to its highest power and gives it a polemical edge. Not a hand, but a hard polemical edge. Quote, I am Yahweh. That is my name. Sorry. My glory I give to no other, nor my praise to graven images. I am Yahweh, and there is no other beside me. There is no other deity. And that would also include bad spirits like devils, demons, and in all these Lucy, that they made up, ladies and gentlemen, because everything that Yahweh made was good, but he gave man free will, and man didn't want you looking at him, so he invented invisible creatures that go bump in the night. The problem is the serpent, and that's the ego with the flesh. Let me take a sip here. All right, we'll be taking a break here in a second so I can recharge. Then we'll continue on. This also includes the omnipotent, embracing a time that ruptures the syntactical framework of the formula of self-introduction. Quote, I, Yahweh, am the first, and with the last, I am I. So there's this emphatic distinction being made that Yahweh is the first, he's the last. And so that's why Yahshuah, they said, show us the Father. He said, how long have I been with you? The Father and the Son are one. And yet there still is the distinction, because Yahshuah is the logo, the image that can be visualized, because the Father in the true essence is spirit. And therefore we can't see him other than through the logo, which starts with the Son and then ends with the Son, S-O-N, you see, and he shows us how to live according to the spirit of the great Father, that the things that, as he said, the things that he says, they are of the Father. The Father told him to say those things. So he is the incarnation, the active agent of the Father, the Yahweh. Okay, so it's a mystery, and you see, this is why it's so important to go, to keep continually rehash this material, because we've been deceived, and when they gave us words like Lord and God, well, there's nothing that can be discussed about them, because nobody can talk about them, because they're not the original, and they're corrupt. God backwards is dog. That one always bugged me. And then I find out, oh, it's because backwards it means the priesthood, the dogs, the Masons, the dogs. That's why when you go to war to die, they put a dog tag on you, because you're a dog for the Masonic front, for the Vatican, you see. So, yeah, that's the game they played on us, ladies and gentlemen. And I have a couple more I'm going to do, but I'm going to take a break now. We've been on for an hour. And when we get back, we're going to continue on here on the journey about who we are, where we are, why we are, and when we are, and why is it so important to know all this stuff, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad you tuned in. I am Dezert-Owl, and hope you're telling your friends about the broadcast. Our days are very short on this planet, and the only thing that matters, not following the illusions of Washington, D.C., or, all of this other, what about, looks like we're going to war, or that this is going to happen, or that's going to happen. And, the only thing that matters is getting close with the one who made you, because it says he knows how many hairs you have on your head. Imagine his infinite nature, how superior, when he can make this entire universe, he really is. It's beyond our conceptualization, but yet he does speak to us. And so we have to be able to hear him through the manifestations that are coming at us, and to make distinctions between the illusions and our reality, because all the things that are coming at you to trouble you are the illusions. But when you find the reality, then you're going to find peace, okay, and harmony and balance. And those are the things that we have to be looking for. And a communication, the signs that when you've been spoken to, and you got the message, and you can't miss it. You see, that's the connection we're looking for, because it continues to unfold and grow like a flower. Okay, so we'll be back in 7 minutes. So, right, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for being here today. And we're on every Saturday now at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and tomorrow again, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, East Coast Time in the U.S. And we'll then be back on regular Monday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. But we're trying to accommodate our other friends around the world, like Anna in Finland, who can't be on during the week. She can be on now on the weekend. Okay, so hopefully we got it mixed up a little bit, and I know you'll have fun. Just subscribe and thumbs us up, okay? And if you make a comment after the program when the feature goes there, any of those things helps our algorithm. The numbers that you see on the board, on the video page, on the YouTube channel, they freeze out all the numbers within a day or two, and I think there has to be 10 listeners to one of those programs before another one goes on. Okay, they put the screws to us, because I know that we've got hundreds of listeners that come in within a week's time, and within 24 hours, 12, 24, 36 hours, they freeze the numbers. And so they figured out every game in the book. So the algorithm, anything you could do to give us a comment, just say you enjoyed the program. You don't have to say a lot, or give us a thumbs up. Those things will help. But we're looking for another home. We're not wanting to be here. We're here by default at the moment, but we're gonna go to some other venues and get a following going there at the same time we're working here. So we'll keep you posted on any of that. And so don't go away. We'll be right back.
Okay, welcome back. You're listening to Ask Dezert-Owl on the Forbidden History series. I'm NinjaCat. I'd like to welcome anybody who's just joined the program. Please sit back and enjoy. We're about to hear Desert continue his read. Speaking of reading, Desert has a variety of transliterations on Amazon available for everybody, 24 to be exact. Beautiful books. I highly recommend. What can I say? I'm in awe of Desert's work. It's pure, it's true. The words speak. So please go check them out. They're available on Amazon, and there are other links in the description as well. We're getting the books onto Lulu soon, and the Book of Wisdom is already available as online book over on KOBO. So check it out. What you see on the screen, they're all our channels. All the links are in the description. There is a wealth of information on all four of them. We're currently doing our programs alternating between the Cosmic Essence and Ask Dezert-Owl with NinjaCat. So please subscribe and check the bells so that you don't miss out. And go back and have a listen to Desert's channels as well. It will help you see things clearer. It will help you to fill in the blanks, especially if you're just new to listening, and new on your journey of discovery. Okay, one more quick thing and then we'll get back to Desert. Sorry, Desert, I'm just letting you rest for a bit. Okay, our program times. US Eastern Standard Time, Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. And Saturday and Sunday, 9 a.m. That's Eastern Standard Time, US. And Australian time, that equals 12 noon from Tuesday to Friday, and then you're off on Friday. Yeah, I'm in a different world. Yeah. Yeah, okay, I'll start again with the Aussie times. Okay, Eastern Standard Time, Australia, Sydney time, 12 noon, Tuesday to Friday, and then it's 1 a.m. Saturday night and Sunday night. And I have Monday off. Desert has Friday off, which is really strange, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. Okay, and Desert, please forgive.
Somewhere in the middle. That's the good news, right? So right.
Yeah, please forgive me. I just unmuted you. They heard your last joke. So yeah.
You're supposed to leave my. I get hot mic. Okay, I can jump in anytime.
Yeah, I know.
All right. My turn.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Back to you, Desert.
Now we're breaking up. Okay, so it's spinning. Are we on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's tricking you. It's been absolutely perfect the whole stream, and it still is.
All right, then just say back to Desert. That way, that's how I know I'm going.
Okay, I said that, and that must have been when you were breaking.
I didn't hear that. Well, that broke up.
Yeah.
That broke up.
Yeah.
All right. Now Lynn says there's no sound. Okay. It's buffering with Anna. So, okay, we're going to stand by for a check. Give us a radio check on the, okay now. Thank you, Lynn. All right, so I just want to also add that if we get through today, and if I can finish the final hours read, then tomorrow we will be on the Cosmic Essence. We're going to do a series over there. Thank you, Anna. And okay, so we're gonna be there and do a little mini series. We're gonna just jump back and forth from each channel. That way, if they decide to crucify us on one channel and take everything from us, then we'll have the other channel to fall back on. So okay. So anyway, there you go. All righty. So we were talking about the how does the invisible introduce himself to his material creation. And I'm going to continue. Another excerpt here is this is how Yahweh's entire prediction in his self statements is directed decisively toward the Creator's activity that begins in the present and comes to completion in the future. Even the creation statement must occasionally bear future-oriented characterization. This is how all the words of consolation to the exiled Israel are sounded in Yahweh's extended I statements. He strengthens, helps, grasps both Israel and its appointed liberator, Cyrus. That was the Persian king who let them go back to and rebuild the temple. He was actually written about by the prophets. There's a good video on that on YouTube about Daniel in Egypt. Just do a search for Daniel, you'll see it pop up. By the hand, and by Cyrus's hand, and he answers supplications, removes blindness, destroys the signs of the soothsayers, and fulfills his word. His word is good. You can always count on his word. That's one thing you can count on, ladies and gentlemen, is his word. If you are true to yourself, okay, and give all of your energy to serving. So I have one more here, I believe. Let's see. I don't believe anything, but anyway, you know what I mean. Okay, so here it is. I am Yahweh statement. Says to the people of Israel, say this to the people of Israel, the Yahweh, who is the great Zulafhaim of your fathers, of the Zulafhaim of Zavramhaim, Abraham, the Zulafhaim of Eshiach, Isaac, and the Zulafhaim of Yaakov, Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my royal title, not name, it's a royal title, forever. This is my royal title forever, and this is how I am to be remembered throughout all generations. So you see, we were supposed to honor the royal title, and they took it away from us and gave us Adonai. Adonai, which is India backwards, the false mother star that rises first in the east and controls us in the west. Okay, so Anna, I hope that helps you, to make the distinction that the spirit is manifested in all of the positive beauty of nature, and in positive action with pure people, not with the creeps that want to kill us, but with those who have surrendered to the higher power, given their power over to the greater power, their free will to be a servant of the great one who made all things. Then they will have the ability to transcend forever and go back to the light. But he is so the logo is the sun, S-U-N, and the logo is the sun, S-O-N, right? It's an image. It's something we can point to and look at and say, oh, there it is. There it is. See, but it is the manifestation of the spirit. And so if we want, the only way we can see the spirit is then in these manifestations, or our behavior. Our behavior becomes a symbol of that as well, an expression of the Great Spirit, and that's what's coming up next. I've got this read. I'm going to give you a sample out of the Gospel of the Silk Road I'm working on, and let me pull it up right here. And it is let me close this thing with Merkel on it. Ugh. And let me see here. Is this it? Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna. This was so profound when I translated this. I said, okay, I just got to share this with everyone and read it because, the scriptures, which is correctly shultre, scriptures are shultres, have been so corrupted. When we read them, like we're scratching our head. What did that say? Or, and then we have all of the pagan terms that they gave us, the cyber codes that, are not our original words. Then, we read it, but we don't really absorb what we're supposed to be, what we would have absorbed if it were correct, true, correct, complete, not misleading, and original. So that's why these original terms are important, because they give higher expressions. Obviously, we have to learn by applying ourselves. I wish Kevin would call in, because he shared with me this week how the words are affecting him. How he's getting it, reading it. He don't want to call in because he doesn't want to miss anything. He doesn't want to interrupt. So that's why he's not called in. But I was so happy to hear that he's reading the material thoroughly, and he's getting it. And so I hope all of you out there will get copy. Remember, if you can't afford any copy off Amazon or can't get it there, we can get you a PDF version of it through the email by any size donation. And if you don't have the funny money, just don't be shy. Just say, Desert, I literally cannot afford a donation, or don't, and just we'll send it to you. We're here to serve. We freely received it from Yahweh. Hey, we just rely on donations, to help us to give more away. That's what we're trying to do here and ramp up. And we're raising funds right now for Ninja. I want to say thank you to Bruce somewhere out there in our cyber world, and for another kind donation. And we've never talked to Bruce. We don't know who he is or where he is, but he sent something to Ninja to contribute to that air conditioner. So she's got not quite halfway there yet, but we're hoping to get it to her before winter time. So anybody can lend a hand. We really appreciate it. So I'm helping her out before we get more books or put any more towards the other part of the ministry. Because she's making a sacrifice. She's doing it, and don't want to lose her from heat stroke or anything. So and I want her to be able to think straight too. So okay, so let me put that note away. So now we're going to read a sample of the Gospel of the Silk Road. And I've been reading this work for a number of years, and I have several versions of it, actually. So what I did is I compared them, and then this is how I take, I benefit from my experts. I look up in dictionaries, and I transliterate as well, and use the correct terminology that was original, and as best as we can pinpoint it, and so it's just amazing to see it unfold, because this is now the most important transliteration of this document that is available. And so you're going to get a sample of it right now. So let me open it up. And I'm back on Kaftorah 6, Ashakets. Ashakets would be, you can see that 6 is an abbreviation like most of the words are, but those 3 little letters, no. The 6 is the Fibonacci code. It's the Fibonacci, it's the snail shell unfolding for creation. We were made with the 6, right? The 6, because that's the unfolding of a wave of the ocean, of the stars in the galaxy, of the way plants grow, artichoke and sunflowers all have the Fibonacci sequence unfolding in them. And so so Aisha, I think I'm close. Remember, the one thing that is clear in what I'm doing is when I show that they have destroyed our words, they have switched them out, and that they are not the original, and they are abbreviated, and they are even corrupted to a point that they might even be a slam on our tradition. Some of the names, that are supposed to be sacred, what they've done to them. So there is no question that where I'm at with this is far superior and far closer to the original than what they have handed us in our modern time through the Vatican, through the College of Abbreviators, where they're just so happy to put it right in our face, and they know those stupid slaves will never figure it out, and they're just drinking fluoride and watching sports, which means diversion, out of Webster's 1828, being diverted. They're too happy having a party to worry about anything important. They'll trust us. Don't worry. So anyway, with all that, let's read this one chapter here, and I've got more footnotes, or which are really side notes in this particular document, because I'm getting good at this now, and I'm getting a rhythm. And my cut and pasting with these side notes, it's a little challenging to have to change the fonts and and all that stuff. But I'm getting a rhythm now, really, after all last year. And so I've really got some good footnotes. I'm going to at least read one in particular. I'm going to stop at one point because I found it in the Oxford Dictionary on Religions, and it was a good, supports what I've been talking about. I can't get over it. The Father put me on his trail, and everything just confirms everything. So here it goes. So the white Aryan priests, the redhead spotted warrior princes who had learned about the oratory presentment and discourse that the royal eye, that's Yahshuah, had made before the Shultres, had determined him to be worthy of death, and with this intention sent their own serpents to search out for the seed planter, star navigator, and kill him. See, so what he experienced in Jerusalem, Yarul Shalom, was really nothing new in his last 2 years. He had the experience when he was in his late teens or early 20s, you see, when he was in India. I think he was still probably right around 18, 19 at the time. But the royal eye, Yahshuah, was warned by the Shultres, the Shutras, that's the correct term, Shutras, he was warned by the Shutras all about this threat, and so left by night for the Juggernaut, soon reaching the base of the mountains of snow, then establishing in the land of the Guatamides, where the great Volha Eshakea Mune was born into the world, among the people who payeth the homage before the one and only great and exalted Mother Blossom. And again, the notes help you to get what this original thought is expressing, okay? Because just like we have a body, right? Our body, but it's a bud eye. It's a bud eye, like a flower, like a rose that's tight, like the bud, and it's waiting to be opened. You see? That's the flower. That's why we always saw the picture of the lotus coming out of the belly button, right? Because it was telling us we're a flower waiting to open up. And we don't even know what we are, who we are, or where we are, why we are, when we are. So continuing here. Having perfectly learned the Fale Tonki, the enlightened royal eye Yahshuah applied himself to the study of the sacred zeros, of the Shultres. After 6 years of deep study, the royal eye Yahshuah, whom the great one, the blossom of life, Yahweh, the Yahweh, chose as his only loved seed to spread and to perfectly define his true Eshavors from these sacred zeros. So what Yahshuah was doing, because I know I'm reading an original thought, and it's a challenge. So I just want to elaborate on that. So when Yahshuah went into these parts of the world, he spent 3 years, I think it was 3 years, studying their books. And then at the point he became master of them, he interpreted them for them correctly, because they were misguided by the priesthood controlling them, who don't really want to give people truth. It's the same game over and over again, for us, for them. And so Yahshuah set the record straight. Okay, whatever books they were reading off the top of my head, I don't know. I don't think it was the Vedas, but could have been. But I'm not. We may get a clue here. The eye then journeyed back, but mind you, I have not read this. This is my first time reading my transliteration of this here. Okay, first time. So we're doing it together. The eye then journeyed back down after visiting Nepal and the Himalayan mountains, descending into the valley of Rajputana, today's Rajasthan, and directed his steps toward the west, everywhere reaching out to the creation before the various peoples and speaking about the possibility for the supreme perfection, attainable by all Ashan, the supreme perfection. That's the flower opening up. You see, not being in the gutter and never coming to a higher consciousness. So I looked up Rajputs, the Rajputana, which now is modern day Rajasthan, and so who lives there but the Rajputs, right? Which more correctly in the original is probably Refutza. And what is it saying? The Oxford Dictionary and Religions. It was really profound because it's confirming what I've been saying about the Aryan race. Okay, that they ran the world. The Aryans ran the world. The Brahmin priesthood, which is sovereign priesthood, ran the world from India. And the first industry was in the Indus Valley. Indus Valley. Oh, India, industry. See, the creators. They're the creators. It's in the word. That confirms it. But listen to what it says here. Rulers in Rajputana in India, they were the Kshatriyas. In the Aquarian, they're called Kshatriya, but here I found the rest of the word in the Oxford is Kshatriya. So they were holding the cash. You see, there's the cash. They were holding the secrets. They were holding the wealth. They were like the Jews today who are holding the trust for the Vatican, the trust holders. So here they were the Kshatriya back then. So rulers in Rajputana in India, they were the Kshatriyas who rose to prominence before and during the Gupta dynasty. They claimed to be of Aryan origin, and became fervent defenders of the Hindu ways, especially against the Muslim invaders, though sometime later cooperated with the Muslim rulers. Well, that's because the Muslims are cooperating with them, you see. But the Kshatriyas were basically the children of Cain. So they were originally Aryan, but once they received the stain of blood, they had the bright red hair and spots all over their body, leprosy. The leprechaun. There's your leprechaun. You see the spotted warrior. He got his pot of gold. So anyway, that was a perfect footnote to put right next to that to help you see there's a historical account going on here. This is a real story. And we could take the references and build upon them. Okay, he had a life. Where did he go? Did he just whittle wood all day long, just cut wood? No, he didn't cut wood. He was cutting the serpent, the royal flaming swords, the Yahshuahs of life, and going into other places to enlighten other people, because that was his job. And then he does his last 3 years after he does the tour around all these ancient civilizations. He comes back. Of course, that was his job. That was what the Father commissioned him to do. All these people were primed, waiting to hear about the one who came to save mankind. They all recognized that he was the one. And we find that in the Aquarian as well as in here. Continuing. Okay, so I'm going to back up a little bit to the last sentence I just read. So the eye then journeyed back down after visiting Nepal and the Himalayan mountains, descending into the valley of Rajputana, or today's Rajasthan, and directed his steps towards the west, everywhere reaching out to the creation before various peoples. And reaching out to the creation means preaching. That's reaching out. It's in the word. Okay. Before the various peoples, and speaking about the possibility for the supreme perfection attainable by all Ashan. You know what's everybody say, right? All the time. Well, nobody's perfect. Can't be perfect. Don't want to try. We're all screwed up, and that's the way it is. And that's not the way it is. We can be straightened out. We can be straightened out and don't have to be all screwed up. And we can put on the light of perfection. Why did at the end of the sermon of the Mount did Yahshuah say, "Be a perfect creation"? Would a father ask his son to do and be something that was impossible to be? to do things well, to do things perfectly, have a perfect attitude, like it says right here, about the perfect attitude that each of us must have and apply towards our neighbor, our fellow Ashan, which is the surest means, listen to this, which is the surest means of being quickly absorbed into that eternal Asha sphere. Being quickly absorbed into that eternal spirit. You want to be quickly absorbed? Then apply a perfect attitude that each of us must have and apply it towards our neighbor and our fellow Ashan, which is the surest means of being quickly absorbed into that Asha fire, the eternal Asha sphere, the eternal spirit. Okay? What a powerful statement right here in this work, showing its validity and strength. The I who has recovered his original primitive purity, breathed the royal I, Yahshuah, will pass on with his transgressions being forgiven and obtain the right for the revelation through the contemplation in the virgin light's nature, the flowing Feyor of the Yahweh, the flowing fire. That's the light coming down. And for those who are wicked, it burns upon them like a fire. Where the others, it feeds them and nourishes them and brings them back to a higher state. When the enlightened I, Yahshuah, passed through all of the regions of the idolatrous and the superstitious, the I plowed and planted seed. That's he taught. That the adoration and homage of visible man-made deities is contrary to the natural spiritual law. Because the Ashan, the I breathe, has not been privileged nor favored with the capacity to see the natural form of the Yahweh, nor the authority to construct an army of false divinities for the imagined like nature and form of the eternal Vone, the eternal one. Furthermore, it is incompatible with the earthly consciousness and to have a lesser regard for the greatness of the Trevane purity, the divine purity, as being lesser than animals or the creators executed, as being lesser than animals or the creations executed by the hands of Ashan, the crafts of stone, metal, and wood. The great eternal legislator of light and right is one and non-definable. There is no other sovereign but him, the one of the many. And the I has divided the world with no one else. Nor does the I have any counselors. Nor has the I informed anyone else of his full intentions. Just as a father would act kindly towards his offspring, so will the Yahweh focus light on Ashan after their death. In accordance with his merciful rule, he would never humble to a lower state or condition his offspring by making his soul migrate into the body of a beast or insect or for a temporary hold. The solar pure shelter breathes the great architect through the virgin creator, the royal I, Yahshuah, hates the meal offering sacrifices from the priesthoods to a statue or any animal as to the bull, because I, the Yahweh, have sacrificed for the use of Ashan all animals and everything that the world contains. Everything has been sacrificed and given for Ashan's own benefit, who is directly and intimately tied to the mother's eye of light and to the Father, the great Father. For this reason, anyone takes away any of my offspring will be severely burdened through the focusing light, judged, of the pure shelter that belongs to them, especially anyone who causes the ritual sacrifice of my seed. Before the eternal focusing light, Ashan is nothing, just as an animal is nothing before Ashan. For this reason, I breathe before you. Abandon all of your idols and do not perform ritualistic ceremonies that separates you from your great father, since this connection binds you to the priests, against whom the light of the sun has turned, since it is they who have led you astray and separated you from the true Zul of Haim, corrupted into Elohim, and whose superstitions and cruelty perverted your spirit and caused you to become blind to the knowledge of the truth and the way back home. And that's chapter 6 from the Gospel of the Silk Road, ladies and gentlemen. So that'll be coming up next, hopefully within about 2 weeks. So we'll have it completed, and looking forward to sharing it with all of you. So Ninja, let's take another break if we could. Then we come back. I'm going to try to finish out the reading from the, what am I reading? Let me open it up here. The final hours of Yahshuah. Final hours of Yahshuah. My head is spinning. That was fantastic to do for the first time. And you only get it here, ladies and gentlemen. It's what they didn't want you to know. And if you want to know some more, then just stand by for the broadcast. We'll be right back on Ask Dezert-Owl. And I hope somebody might consider calling in. Okay, it'd be fun to get a phone call. If not, that's okay. Nobody calls me anyway, so, you know, that's the way it is. But ultimately, there's something you want to figure out, and we're here to serve. And I'd be happy to go in any direction, you know, and we could talk about that political science again, but maybe you want to know some forbidden history, or talk about a Shavor's words, or the Shultres, that's scriptures, Shultres, all these terms. Don't you want those terms? Don't you think you have a right to know the original terms that would have been in your scriptures, your Shultres, if they didn't take them away? Shul for knowledge, tre for 3 in the tree, on the tray. No, they betrayed you. You were betrayed by the priesthoods. Shultre, no more. Now they got scriptures. Oh, skip true skip. Oh, scripture is the true skip. Ship is skip, and they got their skipping. That's what they're doing. Oh, I just saw it. You heard it here first. Okay, that's it. The scriptures. The skip true. Skip true. There it is. It's word art, ladies and gentlemen. They're having a party on you and I. Don't go away. We'll be right back. I'm sick of it.
Okay, welcome back. I'd like to welcome anyone who has just joined, any new listeners. These are the channels that we recommend. There are some of the best researchers out there. There's links in the description. I need to add headlines with a voice to the description, but yeah, there's links in the description. The information on these channels bring to your attention the lies of this world, and can help you sift through, peel back those layers, and sorry, it's getting really late here, early AM. Yeah, can help you sift through those layers and peel them back, like an onion, to get to the truth that Desert reveals here on this program, like you just heard. Yes, yeah, it was beautiful. Yeah, so more to come. Just waiting for Desert to come back, so I will mention the phone number. Okay, I'll mention the phone number quickly anyway. This is a caller generated program, so if you would like to call
Yeah, but they're
in,
not generating too good, Ninja. That's the problem.
I know, that's why I'm mentioning the phone number again, Desert, just in case they
It's a lonely
missed it.
job, I gotta say. It's like nobody wants to talk to me. Go ahead.
I do.
At least they're listening. That's the good news.
Yes, that's a
ahead.
good thing. Okay, so if you would like to call in with a question, or to share your story, or with an update or a comment, or just to say g'day.
Or a complaint. We'll take it.
Yeah, the phone number is 608-566-7295. That's 608-566-7295. And if you have a really good phone plan like me, and you want to use your phone to call international, just add a +1 at the start. If you would rather call for free from overseas, you can use Skype. Just look for NinjaCat, all one word, NinjaCat. And it's the white circle with the purple NinjaCat with a sword, just to make it easier to look for. Okay, back
Don't
to you,
forget,
Desert.
Dane Wigington will be on later today, within a few hours. So check Dane Wigington out. Everybody's got to watch that at least once. And I would imagine if you saw it once, you'd want to stay tuned to it, because this is the top of the tip of the needle, okay, on the cutting edge of what's going down in our world. Why is everything else happened? This is the primary. Everything else is following in line with the collapse of our environment, of our ozone system, and of our atmosphere, and of our oceans, and of our landscapes. All are going down, ladies and gentlemen. That's why genocide is afoot. So Dane Wigington fills in the piece of the puzzle, the primary reason why they're taking our world down now, because it's game over. Okay, it's not just genocide. The planet is imploding because of what they've done to it. They did it.
Yeah.
These wonderful. That's your. Now back to Desert, Ninja.
Sorry, I had to agree there.
We have a little joke going on here.
I said back to you, Desert, like 5 minutes ago.
I don't remember. No, just anyway. That is what I'm talking about. Is the Shiva? Is the Shiva doing the dance on the baby, ladies and gentlemen? Because she's dancing while she claims to be the creator. She is also the destroyer of worlds. Okay, she's the destroyer, and so that's them. That's the Freemasons. That's the Jews. That's the Vatican. That's all of them. Okay, that's all of them, and all their other buddies. They are the destroyers. So they follow Bubba's orders. Bubba says take it up, they take it up. Bubba says take it down, they take it down. They've been operating on a 500-year cycle, with all the different empires. Matsar, falsely called Egypt, Babylon, then Persia, Greece. Persia wouldn't work well for them, so they had to just get rid of Persia, and then Greece, and then the Roman Empire. So it's but this cycle, it's going to be a permanent cycle that's going down, because they're not going to be able to rebuild when there's no ozone layer and we're being bombarded, and it's like Venus on top. Okay, that's why they built all the underground bases. They think they can tough it out. Well, I think Yahshua's got something in store for them, because they're not going to be able to survive for the next 2 million or 20 million years for the ozone layer, to come up. Well, imagine what those people would be like coming out of the ground. Just like the movie Time Machine. You remember the movie that from the 1950s, and the guy went into the future, and then he went underground. They were like monsters, right? And you know what they called them on the back? I remember I got the VHS cassette to watch it from, like Blockbuster, and on the back, the people that lived underground were called the Elohim in the movie. On the back of the video, Elohim. You see, they know who they are, and they're predicting, the future with all of that. And so they're claiming to be the enlightened ones. And did I mention with the Phoenician? Oh, I don't know if I ever mentioned with that Phoenician thing. I can do it off the top of my head, that this god El is seen prevalent in the Phoenicians. So we see that the El goes into YoChelleG, into Judah, and no Jews were there. Okay, and so El, the god of it's really a goddess. The goddess of the Phoenicians is the goddess that demands blood. Okay, she demanded blood, so they made blood sacrifices to the El. Okay, so you have to hear the whole story. You have to get all the pieces of the puzzle and the picture. And so, yeah, scripture, literally is a code. And I just saw it for the first time just before the break. If I saw it before, I can't remember, because a lot of the stuff I forget, and then I think I'm hearing it for the first time, but then I find it on a card again, But scripture is really, skip is the original word for ship, because they skipped over the waves. And so they were skipping, while they had a sail. While they had a sail on a small boat, then they were skipping. And so that's where the word skipper comes from. Oh, yeah, aye, skipper. Like Gilligan's Island, remember Skipper? And so scripture, you can see the component of the word true, reverse the R and the U and you get true. So scripture literally is the cyber code for skip true, which means skip what is true. Skip what is true. Just like they told you in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, right? Go spell gospel. Go spell fool if you think you can, because they know you can't. Like the word scripture. My entire life I've been, trying to unravel the mystery of this stuff, and it came this time around when I'm comparing Schultre. That's why the discussion is so important, because the more that we keep talking about it, the more it keeps opening up. That's the secret. If we take what we're given and buried under a rock, nothing can grow from it. So there you go. Okay, I couldn't make this stuff up, ladies and gentlemen. It's their engineering, it's their machination, and this thing with Mesa Rain. Let me go back to that real quick, just because it's worth revisiting. This is a major. Haven't stopped thinking about it since I saw it the other day in my read just before the program about 2 days ago. And this Mary, let me put it back in there. I want everybody to see it again. If they didn't see the other program, they'll see it here, because this is it. This is it. To clarify for any new listener that I am reading a book called the Original Gospels, and it's the 4 Gospels, but the guy went back to the most ancient available text, like the 3 oldest for Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Each different one, had a different text from a different period, but the oldest, so that way he wanted to show the differences in the most original text versus what came later on, and we find out that all of this other material was absent. I've been given examples of it over the last few programs, but when when I was reading, ever I came to Mary, there is no Mary. It's Miriam. It's Miriam. You see? And when I got the thought, I came because when I got to Mary of Magdala, which is called Mary Magdalene, they make it into like it's her last name or something, and she's from Magdala, the city of idolatry. Um, and um, and I said, okay, so they abbreviated Mary to cover Miriam. And I said to myself, what did they abbreviate Miriam from? Because I knew they adulterated all the original scriptures going back that far. As soon as they come out the gate, the secret societies and the government was rewriting them to the priesthood, because that's the game they play. Disinformation, disruption, confusion, order out of chaos. All the things that they do. So this was a problem. And in fact, Kefe, Peter, falsely called Peter, wrote about it. I brought it on the program before, where he says, hey, they're we got to be careful. He was writing a letter to James. We got to be careful who we give our scriptures out to, because once they get it into their hands, they rewrite it, and they change the things they say. They put things in my mouth that I never even said. And if they do this while I'm alive, what are they going to do after I die? So the game's been going on from the beginning. This is the game. The deception, that's the false messenger. That's where, when we read in Genesis, we read in Ganesha, the original term for that, Ganesha, which means the garden of the royal eye. The royal eye, isn't a garden beautiful? When you go in a garden, it's beautiful, right? You got royal eyes, you're excited. Look at this beauty. So now, where was I going with that senior moment? I know, it's right there. Hang on. I was talking about in Ganesha. If I could only rewind and re-listen to myself, Ninja. I can't do that. What was I saying? Lead me into it. Come on.
Um,
Uh,
you were
back me up.
talking about garden, beautiful garden.
Yeah, but it was before that.
I'm trying.
Oh, jeez.
I can
Okay, the
ask you a
senior
question
moments.
and totally distract you.
Why, you've got a question?
Yes.
Well, that's not what I want, though. I want
I
to.
know. I'm trying to think.
Now, let me move forward with this. You save your question after I get this out. Okay.
Okay, sorry,
I'll
I
just go
couldn't
back.
help.
Right. That's all right. That's all right.
Okay.
I'm going to just type in Mary. Okay. It'll probably come to me, but I'm just going to now put it in here. I know I was talking about something with the game of original scriptures.
Oh yeah,
And
they put words into my mouth while I'm alive.
oh yeah,
Measure
thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are they going to do after I die? And yeah, and I don't remember the point I was going to make after that, though. I don't think. Um, oh, anyway, I think everybody gets the point that the game has been. Okay. Now I know. Now I was going into Ganesha Genesis, because in there is the. Thank you. Yeah, that's not it, but that's. Thank you, Anna. But so there's a scripture in our old covenant in Ganesha Genesis, and it says in there, talking about a Malek. Now, we define Malek as being the original word for what they say when they say angel, because that word was never in our scriptures. It's English. The angels are the Anglo-Saxons, and they put, just like India put their name in there, and the Jews put their name in there. The Anglos, the Aryan Saxons put their name in there as well, taking over our scriptures. And so in the Old Covenant, when it talked about Amalek, who was a Phoenician king of the Canaanites, Amalek, unlike Malek, which means royal messenger, Amalek means false messenger. Okay, and so it said that our battle would be with Amalek throughout all time. And so let's translate that now. Our battle will be with the false messengers throughout all time. You see, because that's how the priesthood operates. They knew that the Savior of the world came down, and so they scrambled to try to destroy his legacy, because it's their world. It's third world. That's why they took over the religion. That's why they put on the guise of, you know, Jesus loves you, brother. Yes, I know. And, Allah, we got the Vatican, right? We got the Vatican, which is nothing other than the reincarnation of Babylon, but now looking like the sovereign of the universe, right? And taking on all the motifs of Mary and Jesus, which we talked about the meaning of that word. Okay. And so anyway, thank you, Anna. Yes, you're trying. I know that. So, but we got it. We got it. So the false messenger. So let's do the words now. M-A-R-Y becomes M-A-R-I-A. And I just have to elaborate, on how the game is played, because some people coming in and seeing this would think, oh, come on, Desert, you just pulled that out of thin air. You drank a little or something else, and no, it's the way it is, because that's what tipped me off when I saw Mary of Magdala. Then I said, okay, because she was called Miriam, not Mary, but Miriam. So all the most primitive writings were still using Miriam, but they realized that wasn't good enough. They had to get further away from the original, because I saw it. I saw it when I questioned it, and here it is. So okay, two questions now. M-A-Y-T-Z-A-R-A-Y-M. Okay, there it is. I should have put the other one under the other one, but I can do that. Let me do that, because I want to. It's really good when it's right above and below. Control copy. I want to delete that. Remove. Okay. Control V. I want to take this one off. Control X. Boom. Boom. Bada bing. There we go. Okay, Metzorem. So Metzorem. So as I pointed out, because I'm going to just mention Joseph as well, because who went down, as we call them, Mary and Joseph, but this is not their name, It and so we'll get to his title in a minute. So they go down, and then it's in the meaning of the word Metzorem. So Egypt is called Metzorem. Mary is called Metzorem, but what does it mean? It means the mother's eye of a star of creation. The AYM is plural, so it means creation, duplication. And May is like springtime. May is the beautiful month up in the northern hemisphere, but the M is primary mother, AY is the eye, and the Tsar is the royal power, right? The royal power, that's the sun. And then Ara is also aura, and but Tsar, you see stars there in the word Tsar, Zarem, and the rays of light, the ray is there. All of that's in that word, you see, and it literally means the mother's eye of a star of creation. And so when in the old prophet said, and now we know the meaning of the original, because it said, I have called my son out of Egypt. No, it didn't say I called my son out of Egypt. It said, I have called my son out of Metzorem, which means I have called my son out of the mother's eye of the star of creation. He called his son out of the sun. You see? And so it has three meanings. So I called my son out of the woman, the virgin, light, which Mary represented, who is correctly Metzorem. And so then they have to flee Bethlehem, because Herod's going to kill all the babies, and they flee together, her and Joseph, who is correctly Volé Shaphe, and they go in there, and they're there into Egypt, which is correctly Metzorem, for 3 years, and then they come one more time, a third time, out of Metzorem. He came out 3 times, and that's like a seal. That creates the royal seal, and also creates the parallel so that we could find the story. You see, find the story. I've been harping on for several years Metzorem, ever since I read Farrar Fenton, the most important translation of modern time, next to what I'm doing. Nobody's done the original thought, but Fenton had, all of proved out that it wasn't Egypt, it was Metzorem. There was no Egypt in the oldest writings. And so it's the same with Mary. So in our old writings, we had Mary as Medecine, we had Egypt as Medecine, and Medecine points back to the light, to the sun. Okay. And so she goes down with her husband. And what's he called? He's called Joseph. Well, remember, Joseph became the ruler of Medecine, the ruler. And what does his name mean? It's Volé Shafé. And okay, so Anna is saying Cairo is Al Kahira, which means the place camp of Mars. I learned. Okay, well, Mars is war, so it means the place of war also then. Yeah, there's maybe more that could be said about that, but thanks for sharing that, Anna. So Joseph goes down with his, and he was the one who was the ruler. He wore the Pharaoh's ring, so he was as Pharaoh. So Pharaoh in the picture represents the spirit, because Joseph is wearing the ring, Volé Shafé. And mind you, Metzaraim and Volé Shafé, Joseph, are both royal, right? They're a royal family. Let me type his name in here so people can see it in the chat. Joseph is correctly Vol, Vol, Ash. It could be two L's, but I'll use one L. Asha Phay. Okay. So, geez, I always do that. I should put it underneath. I got to realize it's not going to fit. So, but you can see. Let me do that again. I hate doing that. Control copy. Hang on. Got to get that drawing board going, Ninja. Copy. Control V, and then pull that up. Control exit out. Okay. Control V. Control V. Boom. There it is. Okay, let me delete that other one. Remove. All right. So you see how they hid the words, ladies and gentlemen. Why do they have to change the word? There was no J. The letter J only came into our alphabet just over 200 years ago. Okay? 200 years ago, it was snuck in, like they do with all the other trick outs that they do. They're controlling the narratives. They control the schools. They control the alphabet. Oh, you know what? I don't think. Yeah, I did say shul trade knowledge. Yeah, I said that. Okay, thought maybe that was part of what I missed. Okay, so she goes down with Volé Shafé. What does Volé Shafé mean? Don't type. Don't type. Let me type it in there. The volumes, VOLUMES, of the ROYALI of the PHAY. Okay, the volumes of the royal eye of the Fae. Is that not what? Well, you're right, and it certainly does, and there could be some of that in there. The volumes of the royal eye of the Fae. Who is the Fae again? The sun. It's the virgin light. It's the mother of creation. It is our mother star. So when Joseph goes into Egypt, the son of YoChelleG, the seed of the sun. YoChelleG means seed of the sun. His son Volé Shafé, Joseph, goes down and he becomes the provider for his people, his very young nation. Only 72 people were in it. Said 70, but they changed the numbers too. It's 72 because that's a cosmic number. That's a cosmic number, 72. So they played every game and trick on us, ladies and gentlemen. They did a hatchet job on our scriptures, and we have to see and read it for ourselves. And the best way to get it is to learn how to read for yourself, because then you'll see it yourself. You won't need me anymore. The volumes of the royal eye. So he provided everything. He saved Meitzar, he saved Egypt, he saved his family. Sorry for what, Ninja?
You'll see. I got excited and went to type on the computer, and it changed the graphic.
Okay. Oh, I didn't even notice it. I was looking at the chat.
Yeah, it's not there yet. You'll see it.
All right. All right. Don't worry. It's all right.
Okay.
So, where was I going with that now? So anyway, my point is that we have two people we have two people that we are, have this profound character type. Okay, profound character type, not Mary and Joseph, but Metzorem and Volei Shafeh. Now that sounds like a primitive tongue, doesn't it? It doesn't sound like modern. You think our modern words, they used our modern words in the ancient? Of course not. And you can hear it just rolling, rolling just like it belongs. You know what I'm saying? That these are descriptive because these are based on primitive prime root, parent root forms. And so, you got to hear first, ladies and gentlemen, you got to hear first. I always get long-winded, Ninja. Now I can't hardly begin to want to read this other thing. I got to take one more short break, so I guess you better go to the. I wanted to get that out today. I had this card in front of me. I said I got to go over it one more time for anybody new, but also because this is pinnacle. This answered the question what it meant when I called my son out of Egypt. I called my son out of the royal star, out of the sun. And this has been my point all along. It's so great to get the confirmation, to get from Yahshuah himself. It was like a ray of divine light coming down just before the program 2 days ago. And I couldn't wait to share it with everyone. And because for me, it was Yahshua's favor. He was now giving me a pearl that I could share with everyone to prove out what I'm saying. No, I'm not crazy. They're crazy. Okay. All these psychopaths and all these stupid Bible thumpers that, stand up and down, jump up and down on their King James, wanting to tell us it's the authoritative version when they don't even know how to read. They can read nothing but parrot. That's all they are parrots. And this is the unfolding. This is a happening in a microcosm on our planet, ladies and gentlemen. But you're here and you're hearing it when this is what everybody should be hearing, because this is what they didn't want you to know that we tell right here. Let's go to a break, Ninja, and we'll be right back. And then we'll wind up. We'll wind up with the read. Okay.
Okay, and now back with Desert.
Thank you, Ninja. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I got to say that my voice is really taxed right now, and Ninja has a couple questions. So what I'm going to do is we're going to just take her comment or question, and then I took care of most of the business today. You know, I followed up on Anna's original question. Thank you, Anna. And then a couple things I wanted to get out. And so what I'm going to do is tomorrow we got to read. I'm going to finish to read tomorrow, Sunday, 9 a.m. Eastern time, East Coast time, and then we'll then on Monday start at the Cosmic Essence. Okay, so it's been a a lot of discussion trying to get out to the main feature of this presentation, which is the final hours of Yahshuah. But you've been getting it. You know, you've been getting it. And where is the cat and owl video from? Okay, Ninja, can you answer that question for Anna?
I came across it when I really needed it, actually, because it was hard to keep in contact with you, Desert, and it was when I was just started tuning into the program, and it just popped up on my home page, and so I watched it, and it's a beautiful story, and it's also sad. The cat and the owl were very unlikely friends, but they were best friends,
Yeah.
and it's an old video, and sadly the cat died very young. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
beautiful.
I saw
Yeah.
that a couple years even before I was broadcasting with you, Ninja. So
Wow.
it's out there. Just to do a word search, and
Yeah,
you can find it.
it's there.
Okay.
It's there.
All right. Thank you, Anna, as well. All right, Ninja. So what do you got? Better be good.
I will try. I cannot compare to the last few hours of um, what you've had to say, Desert. But
Well, we're gonna try for a good cap off here. So let's
okay.
do it.
Okay, going back to L, when you were talking about L,
Uh-huh.
um, and how we look back, and even today, all throughout history, um, the worship of false gods and goddesses,
Uh-huh.
um, and I'm seeing the duality and all that sort of thing. And when you were talking about L, it just, for some reason, it just made me think of Lilith, because there seems to be, for me, a lot of mystery surrounding this Lilith. And
Uh-huh.
so I was curious about the actual word, and um, after confirmation that it's just another uh, distraction, false goddess.
What, Lilith?
Yes.
Well, what culture are you deriving that from?
Um, Different ones. Like I've
Well,
just heard the word. Like even in TV programs, Lilith like
uh-huh.
was the original. Like very 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 old, way back at the start.
Uh-huh.
And
Here it is. Here it is. I found it in the
okay,
Oxford Dictionary of World Religions. So what I was going to say before I read it, I'll just say what I was thinking is, is that all these female deities are just another version of the other
yes,
version. That's all it comes
yes,
down to.
yes,
So Lilith is a female demon
yes.
and I'm using their words. Okay, so I'm not gonna
Yeah,
change any of these
that's
words
what I've
here.
seen in TV
A fe-
shows. Yeah.
a female demon in Jewish mythology. Isaiah lists Lilith among the beasts of prey, which will devastate the land. According to the Midrash, that's the Kabbalistic or the Talmud, or one of the books of the Talmud. According to a Midrash, Lilith was the first Eve who disputed with Adam because she was unwilling to forego her equality. Subsequently, she gained And by the way, this is all a bunch of nonsense now. The part that I'm reading is all of their makeup. This is all the stuff they make up. Adam, Eve was the first who disputed with Adam because she was unwilling to forego her equality. Subsequently, she gained the reputation of killing newborn babies. In the Zohar, she is described as Lilith, the harlot, the wicked, the false, and the black. Okay, that's by Ginsberg. There's a Jew for you. Legends of the Jews, 1925. Okay.
Thank you.
So yeah, so in other words, just like you see the word when we use the word Aisha, it's another word for the Virgin Light, for the Virgin Mother, and it means royal eye. So the sun is a royal eye. It's beautiful, and it gave us all being and form. So who can throw stones at the sun? You know what I mean? It's the fountainhead for all of our creation in the solar system. The light, the sun, the spirit breathes through the sun. And so Aisha is the original terminology based on the symbol ASHA. And the anagram backwards, frontwards and backwards, is the same word. Remember, you have to switch the S, always stays the same way. SH stays the same way. So Aisha, showing perfection. But then when we look in Meitzar, called Egypt, they corrupted it into Isis. But if we read in the scriptures and through the Aramaic Hebrew, we find that the first woman, well, when he says, "You are woman," right? When he wakes up and they're both naked and he sees his other half, he says, "You are woman." But the word would have been in the corrupted form, Issa, I-S-A. Let me type it in here. So we can see, I'll put Isis first. Okay. And then the variable is meaning woman, okay, is I-S-A, and but it is correctly A-S-H-A. Okay. So Yahshuah is the Aisha. He is the female by quality because creation is female, spirit is male. And so Yahshuah is the royal eye. So it's got a male female. You see, we got a duality in nature. That's what we see down here, right? We got even like plants. You have a male plant, you have a female plant. You have male, female, they come together to create life. It's the great mystery. So Aisha means royal eye. And so you can see it in the element of Isis, right? The eye sees, that's the way you could interpret that. But it's just their version of the original version. So their job is to take us away from original form so that we don't ever get the proper pictures. And it becomes an abstract thought, an abstract terminology that we can't derive anything from. Oh, okay, it's Isis. Okay, I get it. Isis, yeah. Her name is Isis. All right. So that would then also be Lilith, because these are it's just another concept. And I like that word "con" in front of concept, right? I call it a precept. It's a precept. What was first? Aisha, the precept of Isis, and Issa is Aisha. That's the precept. What came first? So, okay.
Thank you. Yeah, because now that you've spoken about that, they had very accurate version of what you just said in one of my favorite TV shows, or used to be favorite TV shows before I knew anything.
Meaning that doc?
What?
Go ahead. I was going to say in that definition out of the Oxford. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
The definition?
Yeah. The TV show Supernatural, a lot of their stuff in there is very, very accurate. And they had Lilith the first, the nastiest, most powerful demon. They had Lilith in that show. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah. I was just curious because I didn't know much about that version anywhere else except for what I'd seen, like in fiction. Yeah, so I was just curious because I knew there had to be something out there.
All
So
right.
thank you.
Okay. Well, good. It was a good contribution, Ninja. I learned something out of that too. So,
Wow.
okay. So, well, anyway, it looks like we've got a wrap. We've got, and there was no follow up, right, Ninja? We're good.
That was the follow up.
That was a follow up. Okay, good deal.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
And no follow up to the follow up then. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Thank you. And so I really appreciate everyone being here today. See, we have some people came in towards the end of the program. It will be immediately uploaded, and it takes sometimes up to an hour for the upload to occur. We ask everyone to please consider giving us a thumbs up, and even make a comment just saying, you know, you don't have to make any flattering statements or anything. Just want you to ask people to consider making a statement in the chat, or the what do you call it, the below the description in the conversation area, because these things will help our algorithm. We're being suppressed. Okay. um, we're not here. I'm not here to stroke my ego, you know, because I want a big audience or anything, but we're trying to reach people that might need to hear this information, because these are the things that we need to hear, that the things that nobody else is talking about, that we have never heard before, that is absolutely relevant to the original thought, to the original Schultres, not skip the true scriptures, but the Schultres. We can know the truth, and it's the truth that sets us free, not lies and deception and corruption by priesthoods. Their game has been to deceive us from the beginning of time. And so what we have to do is we have to get back to center point. The center point is the sun in our creation. And you see how they've changed it into a, you know, flat earth, and up there is not, it's not 97 million miles away. It's just a basketball up there going around. And thank you for your fine compliments, and for being here, Kev and Anna. So we appreciate you know, your participation. You, my friends, motivate me. You know, if you weren't here, I wouldn't be here. But if I weren't here, you probably wouldn't be there either. So we're all here for a reason, and it is to make sense out of the great enigma of what exists, what they say, what it is, what it was, what it should have been. And so don't forget, tell your friends. And remember, I'm Dezert-Owl telling you, if you want to know the future, then you need to look for the forbidden history, because it is all coming to you right here, 7 days a week on the realpublicradio.net. Ask Dezert-Owl. Tell a friend, won't you? And thanks for doing that. We'll see you.
Starry, starry night, paint your palette blue and gray. Look out on a summer's day, with eyes that know the darkness in my soul. Shadows on the hills, sketch the trees and the daffodils, catch the breeze and the winter chills in colors on the snowy linen land. Now I understand what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now. Starry, starry night, flaming flowers that brightly blaze, swirling clouds in violet haze, reflect in Vincent's eyes of china blue, colors changing hue. Morning fields of amber grain, weathered faces lined in pain, are soothed beneath the artist's loving hand. Now I understand what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now, for they could not love you, but still your love was true. And when no hope was left inside on that starry, starry night, you took your life as lovers often do. But I could have told you, Vincent, this world was never meant for one as beautiful as you. Starry, starry night, portraits hung in empty halls, frameless heads on nameless walls, with eyes that watch the world and can't forget, like the strangers that you've met, the ragged men in ragged clothes, a silver thorn, a bloody rose, lie crushed and broken on the virgin snow. Now I think I know what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they're not listening still. Perhaps they never